and as quick as it starts, it's almost over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Up, little lady there. 6. So Gemma's away in the field to feed the little dependent ones in the front field. When she comes back, we're going to get these all ringed, get them ready. Now it's a bit late tonight because it's going to be cool tonight. It's a bit late tonight for these ladies to go out, and she's been busy all day. And the reason she was busy is that one up there. Let's take you and have a look at her. She's had to have a cesarean section today because her lamb was dead inside her and couldn't come out. This girl here, you can see the big black mark on her side where she's covered in antiseptic. So the plan is, there's the bulls getting themselves excited about food. The plan is, these girls are going to go next door into here for tonight. All the lambs that's in the pens here. You hear the little pets up there, there's loads of them up there, and in the pens here. They're going to get left in there tonight, but all these ewes with lambs will get rings on them and numbers, so that tomorrow morning we can turn up tomorrow morning, get them all the way out into the field first thing. Then those pens there will get taken to pieces. All the head rails will come down. We'll get in here with a machine and we will get this cleaned out. We'll then build ourselves a little bit of a pen up here, departure lounge again down here, and we'll bring everything that's left to lamb into here. And then Gemma's only got one shed which has got food, got feed rings in, got a water supply in. All we've got to do is feed and water the pens. What are you doing? Got an itchy neck, tuppence, huh? What a bonny lad, aren't you? What a bonny lad. Didn't breathe on me cameraman, you'll missed it up. What a lovely fella. I didn't be biting me cable. Here's the main man. Paco, the main man. Right, let's take you across the road and see what we've got left across the road. So out here, very few of these girls left. 1, 2, 3, 4, possibly 5 left in here to go. But again, get all these ringed, numbered, ready for transport. Amy darling, get these all away first thing in the morning. Just been along to Longest Greens, get some feed for them, some high energy feed. And the lady along there on the weighbridge says, how many you got left to go? I'm saying about 20. She says, wonderful to see the first ones, isn't it? But it's even better to see the last ones. And she's right. You do get a bit weary by the end of the 4-week period. I mean, this is like coming up to weekend 3 and we've only got 20 left, so we're doing really well. But it's still nice to see the back of them. Get them all sorted, way out in the field. Jobs are good. That machine's working nice now. to, huh? Away for a wander? See if I don't like the noise. Don't half grow quick, don't they? You see that? Oops, wait a minute, put me bucket up, I'm going to get mobbed here. Give them a bit of hard feed every morning, so they come up here, these ones, because these have just come out the shed. So we'll give them a little bit of hard feed, get them to come up here, check the lambs, check the ewes, see what the ewes is looking like, and in a couple of days these will be getting put onto a trailer and took away to pastures over beside Widrington. You can see right, I don't know if you can see, wait a minute. You can see right in the distance over there, there's a gateway through into the field. You can see some of them just making their way down with their little lambs from the top field, which is that field up there, where the majority of all the lambs are. But what a beautiful day, considering that the weather forecast was atrocious for this weekend, and we've actually brought a couple of ewes with our lambs back in because the weather was going to be so bad.
See, will you just be here? I'm not going to give you as much because you're drunk. Will you stop? There we go.
We're trying to grab a couple of minutes between lambing, parents, babysitting dogs, and trying to get things done for tractors. Right. A couple of things happened in the last couple of days. One, my new clutch stop brake band turned up from Stuart at Barclay Williams. Stuart, thank you very much for that, my friend. There's my old brake band with no material on it. I'm going to pop that in the same envelope that Stuart sent me. I'm going to pop a little letter in there with it, and I'm going to get that off back down to Stuart because he can then get that one recovered and someone else can use it, can't he? So it's a little bit of a win-win situation. So Stuart, that's on its way to you. Thank you very much indeed. Having said that, you'll probably receive that before this video gets out, but never mind, never mind. Thank you very much indeed. Another little thing, really important. Look at this. This arrived the other day. Well, didn't arrive the other day, arrived probably a couple of weeks ago now. Just we've been so busy with lambing and farming and all sorts of bits and pieces that we've never really gotten time to do videos as such. We've been trying to catch up on things, but never mind. Lance, thank you very much. Your tool arrived. I haven't had time to check it yet, not that it needs checking, but I haven't had time to use it yet. What I'm going to do is, obviously the right hand side bracket needs to come back off my tractor so I can fit the rock shaft in, and I can't get that done till I get the rock shaft painted. However, when it comes off, well, we'll just give this a quick check. What I'll do is I'll put this into my selector bracket, and we'll just check that I've got the right settings using this tool. We are also, I'm saying we, I've got my son Barry looking at all of the recommendations and that on 3D printers. We're going to buy a 3D printer and we're going to start and produce these in the UK for those that need it. It is the setting gauge for the valve chest. Yep. And as I say, when I pull mine off, and I've actually got a spare one, I haven't got a spare valve chest, but I've got a spare control lift height and depth control unit. We might actually put it back together and just do a little video on how this works. If you go back to my previous video, I made one of these in steel and set my gauge up, my valve chest up, using my steel one. But this will be so much nicer and easier just to start and produce these on 3D printers and sell them within the UK and Europe. I know Shane did the drone. Shane's got the slice files for this, which is what you need to put into a 3D printer, and Lance supplied all the measurements for it off an original metal one, proper DB part that he has at home. And Lance produced these prototypes. I've got one, Shane's got one, and Lance has got one, and he produced the prototypes on his 3D printer down at home. Now, we are talking about selling them at sensible money, probably money to cover costs, time, materials and energy. But I will be having a three-way conversation, Lance, Shane and myself, as to what we think is reasonable for these. There was an original tool, which is the type that Lance has, sold fairly recently on eBay for £350. Now, good on you if you can get that sort of money, but I think that's just taking the mickey a little bit. It's not 350 quid's worth of work in that, even in metal, you know what I mean? I mean, realistically, unless you're doing 2 or 3 tractors a month, right, you don't need to buy the metal one. This will probably last just as long as the metal one, but I can't see any problems with it. So, as I say, we'll be doing a little look at that also. And I have used this. It's a little stubby cooler. I've had my cans of cider in it because I do like a can of cider on an evening when I come in, especially a nice cold one. Keeps it cool while I'm working on my computers here. Lance, thank you very much indeed. As I say, I will be in touch and we'll have a discussion about what we think sensible for those items. Lovely. Thanks very much, Lance. I'm going to put a picture of this lot up in my community area. Right. Following on from the electrolysis cleaning process video that we did a couple of weeks ago, something like that, where we cleaned both the casings, the final drive casings, and I was using a computer battery pack, one of these things. That's your mains, 250 volt input mains in here. Obviously this isn't 250 volt output, right? I think, when I get my glasses on, I think it's 12 volt. Might even just be 5, I don't know. Wait a minute. It is output. Whoa, it's bigger than I thought actually. Output 19.5 volts, 3.33 amps, 65 watt of power. That's bigger than I thought. I thought it was 1.5. The other one was the one I use outside is 1.5 amps. I didn't think that was a 20 volt output. I thought I was going to go for 12 volts on that one. Never mind. But anyway, following that, and I did say in the video, I would like to get a bench power unit so it's more controllable. Well, Shane, thank you very much for the email, the link. Unfortunately, the one that was in the link, the type that you have, wasn't in stock when I went on to that website to have a look at it, but this one was, right? It's still got the protector cover on the front, so hence it looks a bit grey. But again, 240 volt input for the UK anyway. On the front, it's got volts, got 3 little LCD screens in here, volts, amps, watts. You can set the voltage and you can set the ampage, and it tells you what power it's putting out. 2 connections here that we go through. We get a set of leads with it. I'm not going to go into depth with this today because I'm going to do a separate video on this. I'm going to clean some more parts with it. So we've got some separate little leads with crocodile clips on the end and a quick connect plugs into here. So I set this up the other day on 12 volts 1 amp just to test it, and I was testing it on one of my little DC motors that I have here, and I'm very happy with how it performs. But what we're going to do, because we've got the back covers that I want cleaned, we have got the dust excluders that fit over the big seals on the final drive shafts. I want those because they're like a tin shield. I have wire brushed them to a bit, but I'm going to stick them in a bath and test it just to see how it performs. Right, and as I say, I will do a separate video on that and on cleaning some more parts, and with a bit of luck we will be able to get on and get some painting done. It's an absolutely, as you see by the previous video, me in the field with the lambs this morning, or some of the lambs, it's an absolutely beautiful day. Not what was forecast, because the weather forecast for today was atrocious, to the point where we brought a couple of very vulnerable sheep and lambs back into the shed last night because the weather forecast was telling us it was going to be sub-zero last night. And I know the sheep, people will be thinking, yeah, they live outside. A friend of ours, and I think it was Thursday night, Wednesday, Thursday night, when we had rain and cold, one friend of ours lost 75 lambs out of one field, dead with the weather. Another one lost 50 lambs, and the next door neighbour of his lost about 80 lambs. We lost 5 that night, 2 of which went to foxes. So 3 perished because of the cold. So hence, when the weather forecast was bad, we took the decision to bring these 2 back in. Little 120 and 186 came back into the sheds. They're still in the sheds today, but we're not going to put them back out because yet again the weather forecast has moved now to be Tuesday or Wednesday sub-zero. So yeah, makes you think, doesn't it? Getting into May, we're still getting sub-zero nights. And it does affect farmers very heavily. Like that, as I say, what's that, 150, 200 lambs out of 3 farms that we know end up in dumpy bags and getting took away. Hey ho, that's farming for you, innit? That's just life. Right guys, well thank you very much for joining us. I know it's been a while and we're getting really out of sync with just about everything that we've been doing. Purely and simply because of the lambing. And as I say, I think as of today, Sunday, the 30th of April, it's 10 to 6, and I think we've got 4 left to go. So, and again, there could be tomorrow, there could be tonight, there could be tomorrow, there could be next weekend. We just don't know when they're going to go, obviously. So we've got to bide our time with them. But hopefully this week we should get things back on track a bit. I went away on Saturday morning and I bought some red hammerite, and I've got some yellow hammerite. The brake drums, I'm going to paint the outsides yellow. The inside surface of the casting for where the brake drums fit is going to get hammerite red. Now, Lance, I know a couple of days ago we were talking about Gliptol paint and the price of it, and I forgot to mention to you then, where I don't have oil, like in the bell housing, in behind these brake drums, I just use red Hammerite paint. I don't obviously use it where the oil is inside the castings or inside the engine block. And as I say, the price of that Gliptol paint in the UK, I think is about 80 quid a litre. It's just ridiculous. Or 80 quid for 500 mil it might be. It just really is a very, very expensive paint for something you're never going to see. But yeah, that's what I use. I just use Hammerite paint inside my castings. Anyway, guys, as I say, apologies for bits and pieces. Some of these videos that you just watched were taken 8-9 days ago when we had some decent weather. It's been absolutely lashing it down today. Absolutely lashing it down. Gemma's been moving sheep with the help of a friend, taking them out the fields, getting them away to fresh pastures onto better grass for the summer. And hopefully by the middle of this week, really fingers crossed this time, we should be lambing complete, everything dismantled, everything done. Hopefully. Right guys, as I say, thank you very much for visiting. Your time as always is greatly appreciated. I hope that you've enjoyed the videos about the lambing and the farming. As I said, this is probably the last one that you'll see of those, the little lambs. The rest will be probably when a couple of weeks time when they get big, and by God they grow quickly once they're out in the good fields. They'll grow quickly. As I say, hopefully we'll get back on track. We'll get some tractor videos done. We'll get some painting done if the weather picks up. And we'll get some the final drives rebuilt and get them back together. Okie dokie. See you in the next one. Bye now. Remember, don't overthink it. It's only nuts and bolts. See you later. Bye now.